So we're going to jump right into our next story. This story is coming from a mother, Jackie Lindsay, and her son, Miles. This will be performed by Tayler Jones. Tayler is a professional actor, director, and teaching artist from Detroit. Tayler will be performing this story, which was told and written by Mrs. Lindsay. Come on up, Tayler.
I'm a mother and a teacher, and tonight I want to share the story of my amazing son. Miles is quiet, respectful, very considerate, and back in those days, he loved school and he was so motivated. In fact, starting in 4th grade, he said that he wanted to go to Renaissance High School, and he made all the plans. He wrote them down. He said, "Mom, I need to go to this middle school so that I can get into Renaissance High School." He had done his research. So he left the school where I was teaching at to attend Bates Academy. He had to test into Bates to lead me, and he did. His testing scores were way above grade level, and at that school, he thrived. He became a star athlete, played basketball, he was in several clubs, he got good grades. But before he graduated from Bates Academy, he started having health issues and had to start missing school. Even under those conditions, he applied and was still accepted into Renaissance. So he did the essays, he did the tests, and around January of his 9th grade year, we got a generic letter from the school saying that Miles wasn't meeting their academic standards, and they suggested other schools he could transfer to. And they said they wished him well. He had missed school due to his health issues. He wasn't failing any of his classes. But just like that, he was disenrolled. I felt betrayed. I felt like the system was failing him, and it was very disheartening. So I went to the school and met with the vice principal and another staff person. We reviewed what is called a 504 plan, and they said they would give him supports, and they let him stay enrolled. He did summer school, he got straight A's, and then I worked to get him a special education plan called an IEP, and he qualified. So the teachers didn't know what was going on or what supports he was supposed to get. So I printed Miles several copies of his IEP to give to his teachers, and the vice principal actually took them out of his hands, and she wouldn't let him give them to his teachers. And it happened again. He was disenrolled. A same generic letter, they wished him well again. So I emailed the superintendent's office and I CC'd the whole board. And then I actually went downtown to their offices and met with the administrator. The first person said she couldn't do anything to help, but she knew who could. So we went down the hall and talked to the assistant superintendent, and she pulled up his transcripts and said, "Oh, absolutely, he will be re-enrolled." She didn't hesitate, and he was allowed back. But then it happened again for a 3rd time during his 11th grade year. He was disenrolled, same generic letter, they wished us well, again. And it was a very, very emotional time. The weight of him being ill and the staff having no empathy, no compassion, they were just heartless. Derogatory statements coming from teachers, like, how do you expect to be successful if you're not here? They weren't trying to understand his health issues. They were not helpful. And it changed his whole demeanor. He had to juggle his health issues, but he had to do that with no support at all from the school. So I went to my principal of the school where I worked. I was so emotional and was asking for her advice. So she referred me to the Student Advocacy Center, and I was connected to Miss Martin, and she immediately went into action. She contacted the school, she met with Miles, she got central administration involved again, and she went to the school. And he was not disenrolled after all. So again, success. So he attended summer school and passed all his classes, but when he went to the first day of school for his senior year, he was told he wasn't a student. He was so defeated, and he really wanted to graduate. He sat in the office by himself for 2 hours. And not one person from the school called me to tell me what was going on. His sister checked on him and found out what happened. So I called the school and I was told to come pick him up. Now that time, he was out of school for 2 weeks to get this straightened out, and Miss Martin got to work again. There was another meeting, and Miss Martin would quote the law to them and tell them that what they were doing was wrong. And finally, we were told that he could come back again. So Miles was taking 11 classes the first semester because he was trying to catch up. And he wasn't getting any of the supports that he was supposed to. And they weren't doing anything in his IEP. But Miles managed to pass all of the classes anyway. And he knew he had Miss Martin's support, and that is what kept him encouraged. So she would meet with him at the house, at the school, and he knew she had his back 100%. And we all need caring adults in our lives. And it meant a lot because he didn't have that at the school. In fact, it felt like the school was attacking him. And Miss Martin, she was there for them. So Miss Martin closed the case because he was doing so well, and we had a plan. But then he started to struggle a little bit. And in April, 2 months before graduation, they tried to disenroll him again. And they actually pulled him out of class and told him he had to be transferred to a new school without even calling me. So he was taking 12 classes at that time, and despite all the plans that had been made, now they were suddenly saying he didn't have enough credits to graduate. So Miss Martin got involved again, and we had to call them out on everything that they had done wrong. We sent it to everyone, the superintendent, the board, everyone who was important. And it ruffled some feathers. But still, it took a month to get a meeting. And when we met, the principal told us that she was offended. She was offended. And when we talked about his history and how they didn't implement his supports, they bust out laughing with Miles right there, and I was offended. The meeting finally became productive, and they started talking about the accommodations and how they could support him. And if they had done that in the first place, he wouldn't have been struggling so much. So then after all this, his grandmother died in June. So this is after he already lost 2 close friends, and he was running on empty. So staying up till 2:30 in the morning, even with his health issues, we saw he couldn't have all the work done in time and would need to do summer school. So we asked if he could walk across the stage and then he could get the actual diploma after he finished. And they wouldn't let him walk. They met him with resistance at every step of the way. But he was allowed to go to summer school. And this was the first summer they actually provided accommodations. And it was the first summer of real support. The school was doing what they were supposed to, and Miss Martin was checking in with him every week. And then he finished, and he completed all of his required classes. But it was bittersweet. I mean, they didn't even contact us when he had finished, so, we had to call them. And the day we called was the day of graduation rehearsal for the August ceremony. But by that point, Miles didn't even want to walk anymore, and he didn't walk. So you have to remember, this started out as his dream school, and it turned into a complete nightmare. But Miles never gave up on himself. He never gave up hope. And he always valued education, and he pushed through. He persevered with the support of his family and with the Student Advocacy Center. And without the support of the SAC, he would not finish in the school where he had dreamed of graduating since 4th grade. I couldn't have done this by myself. Oh, I got tired. And I felt everything he felt and more. So we're still pushing and we're still pursuing changes at the school. We don't believe that school is taking care of its students with disabilities as they should. What happens to students without SAC or a parent who cannot advocate for their children? What happens to those students? Everyone deserves a quality education, and we will keep fighting. Woo!